Hello, hello, hello. I'm just finishing up setup and making sure things look overall good. So, making sure I put things in the right locations. Yes, I did. Awesome. Don't know where I'm going to be putting my face just yet, so I think for the moment we're just gonna stick it on the bottom right, because I don't know how the setup for this is gonna be. Normally I try and like set myself up as I do things, a quick like test thing in advance. I literally just downloaded this 30 minutes ago, so it is not getting a test run in advance. Now, I've been wanting to play a puzzle game, but due to like ability to focus, I can't really do blueprints. And as much as I want to continue Firmament right now, again, that curse with the ability to focus means that I'm not really up for doing a Cyan Worlds game. So, I looked, and there's a couple of like cute games. So I got Duck Detective, because why not? It looked adorable and fun. And then I also got this one, which is Stafford Case, and a couple others that I wasn't feeling up for playing today, but I purchased that I have in backup for when I want to do a puzzle game that's not like Blueprints or Firmament or any of the other number of puzzle games I have right now. So I have a couple of new puzzle games that I want to play that are not on my Xbox. This is as much as I love my Xbox, I don't like that it randomly kicks me off stream sometimes. So, and I can't tell. So, this is a Stafford Case, which is apparently a... Oh gosh, what does the Steam page say for it, actually? Because that's just better to read off. So, the description for the synopsis for this. It's a mystery game asking players to find clues, arrange them into documents, and point out contradictions between them to solve a series of murders. The game is set in the fictional version of London in the 1960s, where 10% of all residents had some sort of supernatural ability. In this city, incidents involving staffers, the people who have these abilities, are constantly occurring. Players take the role of the Mana Affairs Division, newest detective Notrick, which, as you can see on the screen, this is apparently Notrick, in order to make sense of these incidents, since the tricks buried within these Stafford cases at their core revolve around the supernatural abilities of these criminals. Conventional investigative methods won't be enough to solve them. Instead, players have to rely on documents that explain what their suspects' abilities entail in order to make sense of everything. So this is like a logic game in a lot of ways. Fortunately, it's not only the criminals who have supernatural abilities. All of Notrick's fellow detectives are also staffers, excepting Notrick himself, who's apparently normal. The senior detectives use their supernatural abilities to investigate the crime scenes and organize their findings into documents, testimonies that account for emotional distress, invisible trace that tells when evidence was left, even memories that remain in objects. Find contradictions using the various clues at your disposal. That's really cool. It looked really cool. So there's 5 cases. The first 2 cases are actually free on Steam, apparently, which is really cool. And then there are additional stories that involve stuff. So... there is a note about streaming on here. So, I did not know there was an official Discord. I'm definitely going to link this because I did not know that this existed. I did not actually even read all this way down. So this was actually cool. As I was reading this, I found this information. That's really nice. I'm not an officially sanctioned stream, I will say that really quickly, because I'm just doing this because it looked really cool and fun, and I wanted to play it. And it looked really cool and fun. Let's see. So, there is... I am going to try and link this somewhere. I think I can modify... I can't modify it on here. I will be including a link to the Steam page, but it's Sapphire Case, a supernatural mystery adventure on Steam, which looked really cool. But I'll make sure to edit things to link that. So, there is that aspect of it. It looks cute, so I'm hoping it's fun. I'm also hoping I don't get in trouble. This is why you should read things in advance of deciding a decision. Okay, so, but it looks cute. It says, I like these types of games. These are fun looking games. So, I wanted to play a game that was puzzles, and I like playing puzzles on Steam, so, puzzles. I'm not gonna skip the prologue, for heaven's sakes. That'd be rude. That would be very rude. No, we're not skipping prologue. Yes, mysteries are fun. I love mysteries. So. When did this game come out, actually? I'm curious. Because it looks pretty cool. I want to know when this game came out. 2023. That's nice. I'm only gonna play a little bit of it, though, to be fair. Can I? Copy it. There we go. So I'm gonna really quickly do this before I get too far into this. It takes it like a hot minute for me to load these things. So. If things would like to load, they usually don't. Here we go. Oh, Lord. Okay. Where is my description? Steam? Not Steam, Twitch. Why do you not let me edit things? Because Twitch don't like me. How about stream info? There we go. Nope. Okay. Well, that's fine. I wonder... skip that. Go away. Okay, well, it's gonna take me a little bit to figure this out, and I can maybe edit it another way, which is fine. I don't think I can futz with the... Here we go. This way. Will you actually work? Okay, well, nope, never mind. I was trying to fix things because I realized after the fact I did things backwards, but you know what? I will just fix it after the fact. How about that? Anyways, it's on Steam, which is amazing, and I will actually just hit that. That is, oh, this is where it is. I don't know if it'll actually show up, but that is where you can find the game. If you guys end up liking it, because I would recommend if it ends up being fun, because it looks like it's fun. Okay, so is this your first time? Just saying, this is your first time in London. Anxiety, go burr. Anxiety, really go burr. So it is No Tricks' first time in London, okay. How does it feel to take all in London scenery for the first time? London is really pretty, having been there. To be fair, my travel to London involved going on the train to out of London, but your UK is pretty in general. The United Kingdom, pretty in general. Let's see. I have not seen Big Ben either, actually. I've not seen much of anything, mostly because my partner doesn't want to go to London. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. We don't have to ever go to London. I don't need that. Let's see. Received a job offer. Until I get fired. That's a phrase. Okay. Detective works are fun. I like detective games. This may not be something I ever stream again, just as a note. But for the for the moment, it seems fun. Let's see. It says taxi drivers would be the quiet sorts. Not a quiet taxi driver. I mean, I've not ever found a quiet taxi driver, to be fair. Let's see, front of their building. It's quite alright. In front of the park will be fine. You're already paying for an expensive cab ride. What's another shilling? Wow, that is phrasing that I have not heard in a while. Make yourself find themselves before they know it. They find themselves lost in more ways than one. Huh. Okay. Pretty much forcing my hand. Wow. Okay. Name of the place was... What was the name of the agency? Written on a letter from a man calling himself Detective Chief Inspector. So now you're gonna, what, show me how to read these things? Is that what this is? Heartbeat noise, that's fun. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so find the clues related to the question within the documents, then press combine clues. Anytime you can't remember the steps, click the manual button on the right, select the clues you wish to use on the enlarged documents, and click the combine clues button. Check from the list below, zoom in particular document. Okay, so this is like, this isn't timed. Okay, so we're looking for the company name, which you mentioned was on this letter. Phenomena. That is hilarious and interesting. Okay. And this is his... So this is the fact that he's part of this, but that's not the company. Yeah. Doesn't sound like your average division. Okay. The name the director of a Kimbo Investigations Agency gave me. Okay. Interesting. So what? I had this and then... Okay, select clues to combine. Okay. So is that it? Okay, that was it. That's actually pretty clever. I like that, how that looks. That looks really cool. Phenomena Bureau. Bureau? Going to the Bureau. What's wrong? Something troubling you. You got really polite all of a sudden. Did you just forget to mind your P's and Q's at times? You got really polite all of a sudden. Funny, really. Right when he heard me say the Bureau, his attitude shifted. I mean, yeah, that's always pretty interesting. Not a good reputation. Well, that's not good. Suspicious letter from a suspect in institution. I can talk. I can't talk. Carry out investigations like this. Well, that's been a lifelong goal of mine. Okay. Gray building on the left over there is the London branch. Okay. This is cute. I like the art style. The art style is pretty. So that would be when shilling. Where'd I put the money I exchanged? And I would check the front pocket of your bag. How did you know? Such things shouldn't come as much of a surprise. If you intend to stay in London for long, that is. Have a great day. So he has... Does the taxi driver have an ability? That would be interesting. How'd he know? I mean, I would want to know how he knew, too. Logical. Is that like a rating? That'd be a cool rating. So, October 30th. This will be my place of work starting from today. Compared to the investigator's office back home, this place is just floor after floor straight up. Most places are very tall in London, yes. If I try to catch it comes to the top, I bet my head would be touching my back. Okay. Took me days to get here, and now you're feeling anxious. That's great. I do like the artsy question mark explanation points. 1 minute, is she looking at me? Definitely locked eyes. She isn't saying anything. Yeah, I noticed this figure over here. Thank you. Let's see. Definitely still looking. You are just working yourself up. I mean, I understand anxiety. Would you happen to have business with me? Indeed I do. Okay. Then she should be one to break the ice. I'm waiting for someone, and I do believe that someone to be you. That's a phrase. New recruit from a Kimbo Investigations Agency, known for sticking a fountain pen in his curls. Wow. Oh, that's a fountain pen. I did not even register that. 6'5" centimeters. Note. Well, close to that. Note trick case. You're a member of Mina. Pandoria Redfins. Okay. Pleasure is all night. Yeah. This is just a bunch of pleasantries. Pass on the handshake if you don't mind. Now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember something about the British not shaking hands all that often. You know, that makes some sense. If that's actually true. I don't think it is, but it makes some sense. Don't take it the wrong way. It's just that I'm extremely reluctant to come into physical contact with you in any way. Okay. I almost did take that the wrong way. I mean, I would take that the wrong way, period. Even with that being said. I guess you could say I suffer from mysophobia. Okay. Mysophobia. Just to put up with it. I mean, is it really okay to have a detective who's scared of germs? I did not know mysophobia was related to being afraid of germs. I always thought that was germophobia. Well, enough with introductions. Shall we head inside? Follow close behind. The bureau is a bit of a maze, and I don't want to have to report a child gone missing. Okay. Are you actually a child, though, is the question, no trick. If after all these years I could still get lost. I mean, you could. About the child gone missing. I'm lost. Okay, that's kind of amusing. No matter where I go, it's just the same hallways, same doors, plus there's not a floor plan to be seen. That's not good. Right at the entrance, but with this many rooms, how are there exactly 0 other people wandering the halls? Way to take, is that a map of the building? course you can't have this building without a single sign pointing to the way. I mean, that's the first time you found a map this entire time, so... this is not helpful. N-A, I-A, I-C, I-B, I-D, I-E, I-F. Okay. It's a map, but it don't make sense. Why isn't this in proper English? Am I the hillbilly upbringing? Okay. So I can get back to the entrance. Mr. Redfins will probably be waiting for me there. Well, you are not getting back to the entrance, I don't think. It's here because someone's able to read it, right? Then maybe the writing on here must be unique code that only the employees can make sense of. Yes, that makes sense. Office of Mana Affairs Division is. Okay. Must be something enclosed in the parcel of the BSO use. You select the information and then choose to place the information on the map. If I connect those two pieces, I'll be able to find my answer. Okay, so it's still teaching you kind of how to use the clue system. I see. Yes. Pinning a document allows you to examine two documents at once. Pinned documents can be unselected without first unpinning them. Okay, so this is about pinning documents. So I do this, and I pin it. So it says NA01. And then I do this, and I can hit that, because that's pretty sure that's where I'm supposed to go, based on this. Combine the clues. So, his office will be right by the entrance, I take it, if I'm not misunderstanding. Employee ID badge is formatted in striking similar way. Yep. Also the name of my department is written above the code. Letters and numbers, unique code assigned to our division. Same code is written on the room of this map. That's potentially the room you have to go to. I mean, yeah. That's pretty straightforward. I feel like I'm the supporting actor on a new TV show. Oh, I guess they should head and say, yeah. Well, at least you found the place. That's like the point of it, right? At least you find a place. Brian, Tina. Okay. Awesome. You may have found the correct spot, but maybe not. I don't know. But she pulled out a weapon. That's not good. Okay. Ear itch. Ouch. That's uncomfortable. So just like that, I found myself here. I like how he's got that logical symbol on his lapel. Or, is that a lapel? No, it's not a lapel. Whatever this is called, I forget. Makes sense for a rookie. Your accent is rather unique. You're not from around here. I'm from New Mexico. Cool. Prefer a cup of my finest black tea on ice. What? I'm sorry, black tea on ice? That's... I mean, I've had black iced tea. But, no. Coffee. It's been a while since we brewed it, though, so it's probably gone stale. Let me brew you a new pot. Even stale is fine. Stale coffee is fine, I don't care myself, so... Didn't catch your name. Caucasus Brian. During our cases, I'm the man in charge of the investigation scene of whatever incident has taken place. Detective Brian. Could you ask your colleague to put away her revolver? You don't need to worry. Following protocol, so you're not going to shoot me. Okay. Thina Hervenis. Your main charge is interrogations, just call me Thina. Again, you're not going to shoot me, right? Would you like the honest answer? No. That's fair. Sorry to doubt you, but until the detective sergeant gets back and is able to confirm your identity, we'll be staying just like this. Okay, so strict security. More importantly, I hope the coffee is to your liking. In the spectrum of life and death, the taste falls somewhere in the middle. Quite an abstract way of describing it. I mean, I agree there, actually. I actually find the description to be quite on the money. So, when is the sergeant of yours supposed to get here? Didn't you meet her outside a short time ago? Miss Redfins. That is the sergeant. Okay. I mean, isn't that something that she should have led with? How'd you find your way here? Because he's not an idiot, is the answer. I found the place by comparing the code on my ID badge to the code on the building's floor plans. Your ID badge? Oh, you know the apartment codes. Why are you sipping on that cup of coffee at gunpoint? That would be because your people are doing that. Looks like you've been cleared for suspicion. Excuse us for that. Wow, that is not a phrasing. Welcome ceremony and farewell ceremony at the same time. Good job, guys. There's a joke I can't laugh at. Yeah, I agree. Can't laugh at that. This is all sort of sudden. I haven't heard a word of a new recruit joining us. Okay, sir. I only heard word 20 minutes ago myself. From the detective chief inspector. Oh, so no one was informed of Neutrick's presence. That's great. Still, we should be thankful for the extra hands on deck. And apparently it's normal. Got it. 2 years now. Wow. We've all had a chance to introduce yourselves. Note here is going to be joining our investigation. I like Note. It's no trick. No trick case. Right, I'll keep that in mind. Note. I like Note. You should like Note too. Call me what you will. Oh, that's pathetic. We haven't heard about the most important thing yet. I'm talking about your skill. What is it? What can you do? The answer is nothing. I haven't really learned any special skills. And honestly, this is my first time leaving my hometown. Do you have a license to operate heavy machinery? Oh, wow. And now they are shocked. Yeah, they don't need heavy machinery, dude. To be certain, but Mr. Case, you're not a staffer. No. Oh yeah, shock. Less of a problem, and more like, you're fired. Oof. That's discrimination at its finest. Twisted the laws governing this world. Okay, interesting. The strange anomaly that followed in its wake were called miracles in one era and magic in another. In the current era, such events are collectively referred to as phenomena. Among these phenomena, the only one showing a marked increase in recent days is the mana-wielding humans known as staffers. The staffers are able to wield mana how they please from birth, born with a superpower, if you will. I like stories that involve like these people who are born with superpowers, basically. In London, where you're currently headed, roughly 10% of the population are staffers, making the city with the highest population of staffers. However, it hosts an eclectic mix of people. There is a force that allows London society to continue to function, an agency that manages and controls all phenomena, including those involving staffers. Cool. That would be the Phenomena Bureau, commonly referred to as the Bureau. No trick, I know it's in your nature to be unable to leave a riddle unsolved, so I won't try and stop you from going to London. However, a word of caution. You will see things that you've never seen before. And one thing I'm sure of, that will include some things you'll wish you'd never seen. Okay. Curious. Title card. Okay. It is now 4 p.m. Since we've had some drama, I wonder if Note's on his boat back home by now. The answer is no. I'm, still right here. Yeah. but if you don't hurry, you're gonna miss your boat. I'm not going back. Plus, I took a plane here, not a boat. And why? Why are you suddenly firing me? It's just, you're no staffer, so we don't need you. That remark is somewhat misleading. Brian, you can kick him out nicely. Wow. Have you heard word of exactly what our Man Affairs Division does? From what I read in the letter I received, you all get the cases that normal investigators can't solve. There are some among staffers able to make the life of another human without leaving a single scrap of evidence. In order to try, a normal person can never hope to solve such cases. Following around phenomena, we call such cases mana affairs. When police realize they have mana affair on their hands, they hand the jurisdiction to us. Everyone here is a staffer. All three. I'm beginning to understand. Mana Affairs Division is able to solve cases that can't be solved through normal means. All of them are able to use supernatural abilities. The phenomena you would label supernatural talents we call skills. Calling it supernatural or magical makes it sound a bit cultish. Skills makes it sound a bit cultish, but okay. When she asked about my skill before, she is asking about. You're starting to catch on. I don't know how fast your brain might work or how well you drive the machinery. There are just some cases that can't be solved through ordinary means. That's fine. There are some staffers who go invisible, others who can teleport. You can't say with confidence you'll be able to catch such criminals. Oh, I see you've made it already. Ah, there's the guy. You made quite a long journey. Actually, I guess Detective Constable case now. That's new. Hey! Thank you for dropping again, Yeti. Appreciate it. It's going as it's going. Reached out to my Bold Investigations office, scouted me as an addition to his team of detectives. So this is the Detective Chief Inspector who sent the letter. This is our first chance to be able to talk face to face. Good timing. If the Chief insists on my being hired, these people can do nothing to stop his decision. Show these curtains all the unsavory flavors of our capitalist might. Okay. Seriously, Chief. How dare you show your face after turning our job on its head like this? But of course, I've lost all expectations I've ever had of getting any sort of help from you. Wow. How about you just retire before things get even up? Wow! Oh, ouch. Public opinion seems to be on the level of a coup d'etat. Yes, it does. Look at you. I guess the rookie joining us has got you all worked up. About to ask your intent with this one. Why exactly did you hire a new detective who is not even a staffer? Are you meaning to say you don't wish to take on Detective Constable case? Okay. I could have used even the slightest hint of hesitation there. Then let's try this out. You are all going to give Detective Case here a test. Okay. If Detective Case passes your little test, you'll let him on the team and accept him as an equal. And of course, if he fails, you can do with him as you please. Regarding the contents of said test, is that up to me? If you were to be pleased, this kid's a genius. I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say genius. I'd question that. My dude, you may be. You and Brian are in the middle of a case. The circus homicide. Okay. That evidence you were telling me about before, show it to note. I'm kind of busy. Looks like you have your work cut out for you. Tell me how it all turns out. Wow, and then the Chief just bounces off. Okay. Making escape after giving us a bunch of work to... Yeah, that sounds right up on the alley of how things tend to go. Bit chaotic, but if I pass this test, that means I'll be able to stay. Okay, so you're all going to give me a test. What do? Take a look at this document for me. Okie dokie, you're giving me a document. What is this? Loading. Okay. Bureau file. Yulia Geller. Indiscernible object manipulation. Who is this a picture of? This is a bureau file. It lists off each staffer's supernatural abilities, laying out what skill they have. Some of the main documents we use to investigate any sort of phenomena that might occur. Range of a max 2 meters. Threat levels marked as cult. No pellets. Each and every staffer must carry around their bureau file with their identity card. These files are crafted from material that can't be forged, so if you interpret the information listed on here correctly, you can understand what sort of skill the staffer involves in the case we have. Information about this document is about Yulia Geller, the person who found the body in the case we're currently investigating, and one of our main suspects. Geller is a clown employed by the Trump Tower Circle. Okay. Which is precisely where the murder occurred. The victim was none other than the ringleader of Sunsuck. His name was Jean Henry Houdin. I'll give you the details of the case later on, but first I'd like to continue my explanation of the files. Under the staff's name, we've got the name of the staff's skill written out. Geller's skill is what the Bureau has named indiscernible object manipulation. That doesn't explain what it entails. No, it doesn't. According to statements gathered from those who know her, her skill is to manipulate objects through some unseen force. So telekinesis. Basically, she's got telekinesis. There we go. So why can't you just write telekinesis? Do you think it's somehow more professional to describe her skill like this? We never do such a thing, and you don't think you're being a little harsh. There are over 1,000 staffers able to move objects without touching them in London alone. We have to take an academic approach to the naming because of filing them all under such overarching words as telekinesis does nothing to distinguish the subtleties of their skills. You can usually infer what sort of skill a staffer has by the name listed on their file, though there are occasional exceptions like this one. So if you can't understand the name of the skill like this, you won't be able to understand what the staffer's skill is. In case like this, the details about the staffer's skill can be found out in the course of investigating. Geller's been using skill to perform acrobatic stunts, so it's easy to find out that indiscernible object manipulation equals telekinesis. If that's the case, I'm not sure why we even have the files, but I follow. How about we take a look at the bottom part? Threat level. The threat of each staffer is ranked by risk posed by his or her skill. They pose no threat, they're unarmed. Harm is that of an edged weapon. They're labeled Bowie. They pose the same danger as a small firearm. They're labeled Colt. Threat of their skills are all compared to weapons. Staffers with a high threat level may have some restrictions placed upon them that interfere with normal life. So she's rated Colt, which means her skill is as dangerous as wielding a pistol, apparently. Skills range. So far the staffer's skills can reach. Manipulate objects that are within 2 meters of her. Catalyst section below shows what the staffer needs to use a particular skill. In Geller's case, she doesn't need anything for hers. Last of all, we have a section where anything of note about the skill excluded above sections. Info in this section can vary widely. So this is, she can hold 20 kilos, 2 objects at once. Maximum length, object length is 2 meters and 165 seconds, which is about 3 minutes, almost. If the skill were about controlling something, we'd have about information about the substance that can be controlled. If the skill were about creating something, we'd have what info can be created. Okay. So that's pretty straightforward. That is so much being thrown in my face. Seems overly simplified. There aren't any documents with more detail on them. This is the limit of the info we're able to obtain at our current clearance level. It's still classified as experimental within the Bureau. We don't have much in the way of clearance. So what test is for this? The reason I'm showing you Yulia Geller's Bureau file is because this woman is the prime suspect in our investigation thus far. We have 3 reasons for thinking this. The evidence that has been gathered. You have to look at the evidence to figure out the reasons why we currently suspect Yulia Geller. Okay. What do you think comes to the task? So, if I say no, will you switch the test to something else? Not a chance. Of course not. Then I've got no choice but to do it. Though I didn't really want you to change the test in the first place. Then you're confident. You can use all that confidence to get you back home. So that's an okay from him. Now let's show him first. Is this a testimony? Miss Geller gave a statement. The name of the witness is Yulia Geller, and the document seems to be explaining the circumstances of the witness finding the body. Okay. At first glance, looks like an ordinary witness statement, but the heartbeat part. Yeah. About the abnormal heartbeat column. It gives me a place to check when I detect a change in a witness's heart rate. Okay. Much of the evidence collected by the Man at First Division is acquired by using skills of the investigators. Using her skill. Precision vibration detection. When a potential suspect makes a statement, I use my skill to keep track of their pulse. To collect evidence, fill out documents. Then what's it mean when you record the witness had an abnormal heartbeat? When I detect an abnormal heartbeat, it's for one of 3 reasons. The witness is either in an agitated state, they're talking about something emotional like murder or death, or the witness is lying. I see. So you're like a lie detector. No. More accurate than a lie detector. Okay, you shouldn't say such things. Dina has a bit of a standing rivalry with lie detectors. That aside, there is an odd part of this witness statement. Find and point out the section that's leading us to suspect her. Okay. Give it a try. So they're choosing this... Something is falsehood. Oh, this is very Phoenix, right? But pay attention to the times her heart rate is normal. I should find the lie in her statement. However, lying isn't the only reason for fluctuations. So I've got to be careful. False part of her statement and the abnormal heartbeat prove it. If there's some sort of contradictory information in here, I'll be able to link those two things. Okay. So... First to find him there like that, I came to see him at 9 o'clock p.m. to bring him his coffee. I know that sounds suspicious, but I didn't kill him. Okay. I came to see him at 9 o'clock p.m. to bring him his coffee. False statements can be pointed out by combining the suspicious statement and the abnormal heartbeat. Once you find the suspicious statement, click the statement and respective abnormal heartbeat. So I click that and that. Okay. Abnormal heartbeats are detected when a suspect lies or when a suspect is sensitive about things like murder or death. Okay, so this is about murder or death. So we'll say this is the suspicious one. Because, I mean, obviously she's gonna have upset about being, seeing a dead body or claiming she killed someone. So that makes sense there. This part of the statement is a bald-faced lie. Why exactly do you think this part is the lie? Ooh, pathetic. No, it's not like that. We don't know if he just got lucky. We can't pass him until we get a convincing explanation of why. If I have to explain my reasoning behind the thought... Okay. The witness statement contains 2 instances of abnormal heartbeats. The second part where she visits the crime scene to bring coffee, and the 4th part where she denies committing the murder. If the 4th part, denying the murder, were the lie, this would be an open and shut case. However, since she used the emotion-laced word kill in the 4th part, there's a high likelihood her heart rate would spike anyway. In other words, it's hard to figure out the true reason behind the abnormal heartbeat there. Does that make... yeah, that's logic sense. You detect a normal heartbeat, but that doesn't necessarily prove this part of the statement was a lie. Catch on quick. However, unlike the 4th part of the statement, she doesn't use any sort of emotion-provoking words, and there's no part of it that's worth getting worked up over. Yeah, that makes sense. Yet you detected an abnormality in her heart rate, meaning it's a lie. In other words, Yulia Geller did not visit the crime scene to bring coffee to the victim. That's quite suspicious. Alright, that's one reason. I think she said there were 3. So 3 reasons. We've got 1. Otherwise, it's 2 reasons. But maybe I'm wrong. Continue questioning the subject. Here are the results of my interrogation. So another statement. Just from one look at the document, I can see your witness got very worked up. Yeah. You're asking if I came on in business to bring coffee. Why ask? Are you suspecting me for this? I mean, yeah, that's concerning. Victim always took a cup of coffee at 9 p.m. After all, he normally starts out until morning and night, so that's the only reason I was there that night too. Okay, I had no other reason to visit the scene. Well, apparently you had other reasons. Is excited or agitated? I exchange heartbeats with the statement is true or not. We're unable to determine the testimony is true with this document alone. At times like these, we've got to bring in some other evidence. So it becomes Brian's turn. Don't get smug just because you beat me. Out of 3 of us, I am the runt of the litter. Okay. How was I smug? I understand. How is this dude smug? Also, wasn't exactly something win or lose. You already called yourself a runt of the litter. Why not accept it? This is a cast of characters. They'll always pick winners and losers. Hurry up, show them the data. I do hate to judge others, but that was a problem I simply couldn't overlook. I do hope you understand. Okay. You're Your second test. This must be a photo of the crime scene. The person slumped over the desk must be the victim of the case we're investigating. Yeah, I can see that. Saying Yulia Geller's prime suspect. From the picture of the victim, was the cause of death this blow to the head? What's all this green ink, though? Those are pieces of trace evidence left behind at the scene of the crime. Fingerprints, footprints, scratches, and more. We've got all sorts of forensic clues. My skill is to accentuate various clues so that others can easily see what they are. Using my skill, I can make records of the clues I find on the photos of crime scenes like this. Trace photos. Okay. So I just said, okay, this might be possible for anyone to give enough time yet, perhaps. It's not just about finding evidence either. The time the trace evidence was left is written here too. My skill makes clues appear to shift in color, brightness, depending on how much time has passed. I then analyze all that information to determine which each trace was made or left. Okay, interesting. So he organizes all that information and produces the trace photos. That's actually really helpful, yeah. Back to the point, this trace photo contains a piece of information that contradicts another bit of evidence. Let's call finding that contradiction your second test. I can already tell it's the time. Alright, let's think. The information on this trace photo is found organized by Detective Ryan himself. There can be no mistakes on his end. The document contains something that contradicts this trace photo, and the information in the document is wrong. The information on this trace photo will help us finalize the other documents. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the lie has to do with time at this point. So, let's see. I'm gonna pin this. So, let's see. We see footsteps at 6. That's from Houdini. Geller's footsteps are at 7:30. Okay. 7:35, 7:40, 8:30, and then Geller at 9 o'clock. So that, and then actually unpin that and grab this one and that. So yeah, it's already, the timing is wrong. No. Both at 7:30 p.m. Okay, so then is it this one? Then it's this. Because it's about time to visit the scene. Yeah, okay. Because she visited the scene not at 9 p.m. because 9 p.m. is quote-unquote when he takes his coffee, which means she was there earlier because she was there at 7:30. Take the time if you like. Document is contradicting trace photo in this misstatement. Point a specific part of the statement. Explain what's contradictory about it. I had no other reason to visit the scene that day. Given Miss Geller's agitated state, it's impossible to judge the validity of the statement based on the abnormal heartbeat. However, by looking at this trace photo, we can now see that this part of her statement was false because she was there at 7:30. One part is Miss Geller. We can see her footprints left at 9 o'clock. The statement she had no other business with the deceased that day. There would be the only footprints she left at this scene. But there is another set of footprints left behind at 7:30. One set of footprints at 7:30 and one set of footprints at 9. Miss Geller visited the crime twice that day, so her statement alone she visited a single time is clearly a lie. And that's the contradiction, yeah. Am I wrong? No, that is indeed the answer. I was most difficult of problems, but you developed far into this such in a short time. Yeah, because he's smart. He's a smart person for not having powers. Smart person. You can have all the powers in the world, but if you're not smart, you're going to have a problem. Or if you're not able to, at least logic your way through it. Logic is important. Questioned her about it, but she wouldn't say a word. Victim entered the room at 6 o'clock. Since the victim left no footprints leaving the room, we can safely say he was still in the room at 7:30. We don't know exactly what happened at that time, but it was certainly nothing home to write about. So that's why you all suspect Miss Jello to be the culprit. Well, there's that, but also Yulia Jello is the only person who could have committed the crime in the first place. Okay, reason for it. Take a note, there is no footprints that approach the victim besides Yulia Jello's. That's clearly the case, though I do remember a set of footprints labeled Huden. That's the name of the victim. Okay, sad sap slumped over in the desk. Obviously we'd have the victim's footprints at the scene of the crime. Yep. So let's think this through. Judging from the footprints, we have on record only 2 people entered the scene of the crime that day. The victim, and our suspect. As you can see from the picture, a bunch of water was spilled at the scene. Jello stepped in a pool of water before approaching, but why would she risk getting her shoes wet to get behind the victim? Obviously because she's got to get close to whack him on the head. Dina, if you keep going, we'll have nothing for the third test. Ah. Okay. Rain, the fantastic reasoning skills. Okay. Unfortunately, since our investigation is still in progress, we've got no more information to show you, so until our investigation continues, we have no choice but to stop the test. If I may change the subject for a moment, this case, I don't think it calls for further investigation. I'm not sure. At the current juncture, we can say with near certainty that Yulia Jello is our culprit. Pressing forward with further investigation, let's hand this off to police to try to focus on other cases. Ooh. Does no trick school them? I can't agree with you all on that. It's quite natural to point the finger at Yulia Jello as your— Yes, see? But I think that Detective Thena overlooked a piece of information during her explanation of her third reason for suspecting Miss Jello. You mean my rationale wasn't spot on? Overlooked something? She did. Generally speaking, her logic would be correct, but since Yulia Jello we're speaking of, we must say that Thena's logic doesn't hold water. So you found a hole in her logic, but would you mind explaining what that might be? This tape recorder has everything we just said a moment ago recorded on it. Print out the part that stands out to you. After you print it out, point out which part of the transcript seems odd. So just press this print button. So I select the part of the printed transcripts that stands out and use it in connection with another piece of evidence. If I want to defend the argument, I'll say I support, but if I oppose the argument, I'll pick oppose and connect the piece of evidence that supports my opposition. Okay. Interesting. Alright, so I want recordings. Okay, so if I hit print, there we go. Alright, we're gonna pin that. Questioned her about it, but she wouldn't say a word. The victim entered the room at 6 o'clock. Since the victim left no footprints leaving the room, we can safely say he's still in the room at 7:30. Alright, so yes. Victim ends at 6, 7:30, footprints from Geller. Victim's palm, strong impact. Trace left on the victim's palm. Considering the strong color, it looks like the impact was a strong one. Okay. At 7:35. Handprint on the left teacup. Person was left at 7:40. Square-shaped impression. Tracks of square-bottom somethings extend from the entrance of the room. Okay. That's supported. Visited the crime scene. So these are her footprints, then number 2. And then these are her footprints again. Item 4 is the gloved hand. Why did she get close to whack him on the head? Is it because her skill that he would disagree? Yeah. Okay. Because she wouldn't have to get close to whack him. There's no point for her getting close. Because it... Part about Yulia Geller risking her shoes getting wet in order to get close to the victim. You thought the reason was to whack him on the head. If there's a puddle on the floor, you normally take the long way around it. But her getting close to the victim is something we can't really explain without assigning the action some sort of special reason. She might not approach the victim with the intent of killing him. The suspect's skill. Indiscernible object manipulation. It's a rather peculiar name, but you said it's basically just telekinesis. So she's able to use it to put up to 2 meters away. For a person with the ability to wield such a skill, would she have even approached the victim to hit him? That's my point. So that's, yeah. As you all said, such circumstantial evidence regarding suspect approaching the victim would only add more suspicion to the accused. However, that's not the case with Yulia. Our suspect would need to get that close. Aha! Yep. So, she wouldn't have to approach him at all. I don't think she'd need to hit him that many times. So she needs to approach the victim, yet she approaches him anyway. Assuming Miss Jello is the culprit, it's rather a natural action for her to carry out. As things stand, we cannot conclude that Miss Jello is our culprit. There's no way we can say for sure that our culprit used any skills. Maybe they forgot skills in favor of an ordinary blow. We can't say for certain that no skills were used either. Yep, plus you say the floor was wet. With wet shoes, you'd have no idea what sort of footprints you'd be leaving behind. Yulia Jello's footprints being left at the scene of the crime lead both Detective Dana and Detective Brian to suspect Miss Jello. But would a person committing a crime take that risk? Yeah. So she had the means of getting rid of him without getting close. Not to use her skill. Yep, I agree. If you have powers, why would you not use the powers? That makes sense. Okay. Able to commit a crime without entering a room. It's true that Yulia Jello is still suspect, but as long as there are doubts to be raised, I believe this case must remain open. Yep. If Jello wasn't our culprit, we'd be in a real pickle. Having brought it up, recently the amount of cases assigned to our department has increased remarkably, and you grew impatient. Of course. Got another hand on deck now. You succeeded. Does that mean you're hired? Yes. I was thinking I'd fail you and send you home no matter how you do on the test. Uh-huh. Grown on me a little, that's great. Law and the logic, so... Basic line of reasoning and then affairs investigation. Okay. Even the best investigators sometimes, yeah. The important thing is hard faults in our logic. Theory of mind, what's important in finding the right thing when you turn around when you're on the wrong path. A little late in saying this, but welcome to the Man Affairs Division. Yep. And you get hired. Welcome party later. For now, you have work. Continue the investigation. Tower Theater. I'm not saying that. Okay, well, that's where I'm going to end playing this particular game. Mostly because, it's cute, it's fun. It's probably something I will play on my own time more than playing it on a stream. Partially because there's, like, not a lot of dialogue, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of... I have to do a lot of reading. And that's a little bit difficult for me to do consistently. It's cute, though. I like it. My Steam is broken. That's okay. So it's a cute game. But I'm not going to continue that one. I'll probably, like I said, I'll probably continue that on my own time. When I'm not streaming, just because of the way it is set up. Because there's a lot of me talking, and while I can talk a lot, I don't feel like talking a lot right now, so nix on that. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to play in the moment? Just double checking some things. Seeing if there's any other game I want to play today. Nope. Alright, well, I'm just going to call it there. I will be back tomorrow playing some Solasta. Thank you so much for joining me for the brief bit that you did, as I played a game that I had no idea anything about and probably should do some more reading on. I am not able to speak that much that long, so I don't think I will be streaming it again. I'm definitely going to be playing it in my downtime, though, because it's cute and interesting. But I can't talk that much. Not right now. I'll probably play a different game next time I do a puzzle game, if it's not Blueprints. Thank you!